Alrighty, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Loki? How's it going, Arshan? Alrighty, let's see. Hey, what's up, Mohammed? UI Builder is the new Unity UI. It's going to be the new editor scripting tool inside of Unity. It's also probably going to be how you probably do your game UI very soon. So we're trying to look at this because we have reason to believe that this is going to become a standard, and if that's the case, Filebase is going to be obsolete. So we need to look into being able to build custom editor tools using this new UI elements. So supposedly this gives us a lot of flexibility over creating not only game UI but editor tools, but it's a new way of doing it. So we're going to take a look at this and just kind of play around with it. Let's see. The goal of this guide is to help you take advantage of UI elements by describing the concepts behind the framework and providing with a clear explanation of how to build an interactive user interface. Alright, so the UI elements developer guide is split into the following sections. We have the visual tree, which holds all of the visual elements in a window. The visual tree is an object graph made of lightweight nodes referred to as visual elements. Visual elements, connectivity, drawing order, and more. Okay. Then you have the layout engine, which is a position visual elements. Position visual elements based on layout and styling property. The UXML format defines the structure of the user interface. And then we get like a CSS type deal going on. I don't know. Well, probably because it's like 3 a.m. Eastern time. Let's see. The event system communicates user interactions to visual elements. And then built-in controls and binding. Dude, this stuff is so boring, by the way, looking into the UI elements. This is why I'm doing it live, so you guys can ask questions, make it more interesting. Alright, let's get started building our first editor window with this. So the visual tree holds all the visual elements in a window. It is an object graph made of lightweight nodes referred to as visual elements. These nodes are allocated on the C# heap, either manually or by loading XML data, UXML. Okay, each node contains the layout information and its drawing and redrawing options and how the node responds to each event. Let's see. Visual element is the common base class for all nodes. The visual element base class contains properties or styles, has several subclasses, connectivity. The root object of the visual tree is referred to as the panel. New element is ignored until it is connected to the panel. You can add elements to an existing element. Interface to the panel. So let's see. To verify if the visual element is connected to a panel, you can test the panel property of this element. When the visual element is not connected, the test returns null. Root visual element, container graph in the UI editor namespace. Alright, and drawing orders, position, transform, coordinate systems. I can't make a video explaining everything because I don't know this system. I'm figuring out this system. I usually am very familiar with the traditional way of building editor tools. This is a new way of building editor tools. That's going to become a standard, which means Filebase needs to, Filebase is going to have to be upgraded to this. So let's see. In the image above, the tree is arranged as follows. So we have a panel, the tab section referred to as a dock area labeled coordinates. So there's the tab section. The blue visual box acts as the root, referred to as the root visual container of everything. And then the red is a visual element, which is a parent of a button. And then we have a button. Okay. From the point of view of the panel, the origin of the panel is 0, 0. The origin of the root. Okay, and that's just local spacing. To retrieve the window space coordinates of the visual, take into account the transforms. Alright, how do we get started? Let's see. To get started with Yoga and Flexbox, UI includes a layout engine that positions visual elements based on layout and styling properties. The layout engine is the Yoga open source project that implements a subset of Flexbox. Don't know anything about what that is. Let's see. By default, part of the layout. How to create a custom button from code. You can do so by creating a button. There's a component for a button in the new UI system. Or using a, what's it called? It's just an if statement if you do it through an editor script. If GUI layout.button or GUI.button. Let's say UI elements includes built-in controls for standard UI controls such as button, toggles, text, and label. These built-in controls have styles that affect their layout. Alright, good deal. Alright, here we go. So the ifs are text files that define the logical structure. UXML makes it easier for less technical users to build a user interface. Well, I'm technical. I don't like UXML. Define the structure of the user interface. Define the UI layout with USS. This leaves developers to do technical tasks such as importing assets, defining logic, and processing data. But I believe you can code the entire thing. I believe it's optional if you want to use XML or CSS. So to define a new element, the following code derives the new status bar class and implements its default constructor. So here we have a status bar, which is a visual element. We have a status bar constructor, and then here status. In order for the UI element to instantiate a new class when reading a file, you must define a factory for your class. You can derive the factory from the UXML factory, and it's recommended that you put the factory class within your component. So here we have our status bar, which inherits a visual element. And then here we have a new class of UXML factory, and then we're creating a factory of type status bar. Within this factory defined, you can use the status bar element in UXML files. Defining attributes on elements. Let's see here. This status property is initialized from XML data. So here's our XML factory. And then here we have a class of XML traits, which inherits visual elements, UXML traits. I already hate this. UXML string attribute description status equals a new attribute, and it's reading from the XML, basically mapping it. And then here, creating a collection of child elements, and we break. And then here we can init and override the visual element, the UXML, and the context here. Dude, it's gonna be such a pain in the ass. The code example above does the following: the declaration, init, placing. Right, the code example above declares a string attribute. Let's see. Defining a namespace prefix, don't care. Override the default values of a base class. Okay. Let's see if we actually just start building this. Using the schema definitions, specify the attributes of which child elements and let's see, each UXML element can contain. Use schema definition files as a guide for writing correct documents to validate your documents. Awful. Here's the UXML template, so you define it this way, but I believe you don't have to do it this way. Everything you can do through XML, we should be able to do through code, which is how I would probably prefer to do it, honestly. Here's the styles. This is just CSS. This element root is the class root, so very similar to HTML, CSS here. Referencing other files, path attributes. Oh shit, there's a uQuery. What is this? This is to load the file. We don't want to do that. Here, to open the window, you still do a show window. You do an editor window, get window type of the window. And then to load the data, you have to create a visual tree asset. You load that UXML. Here's your visual element, which is for the UI. And you're cloning the tree. And then we add UI to the visual to the editor window. I don't like this. Let's see. I wish there was I want to see the documentation for everything we can do here. Alright, let's see here. Utilities, box, text element, label. Okay, you know what this looks like? Some of the stuff I wanted. So here's how we create a label, Unity Engine UI elements. And then we should be able to do all of this stuff through code. So I can create a box, I can create an image, a label, a mGUI container, fold outs. What else we got in here? Button, repeat button, toggle, scroll bar, slider. All of these things I should be able to access through code. Okay, we'll keep this on another. We're gonna need this, so down to the tab. Okay, yeah, this is a whole bunch of stuff. So this is the whole elements reference, so all the available things to us. We'll come back to this. And then what is uQuery? Oh, this is to query something in the jQuery link or uQuery is designed to limit dynamic memory allocation. To use uQuery to retrieve elements, use the uQuery. For example, the following uQuery starts at the root and finds the first button with the name foo. I don't know how much I'm going to have to care about the optimization of that. Yeah, just imagine that like web and WPF development. Yeah, exactly. It's basically merging, it seems, WPF and web, which I'm not a fan of either. So let's see here. It has a style system. So this is just all normal HTML, CSS styling. Same concepts. These are just selectors, property types. I don't care about this. I have no intention of using these style sheets. The event system, what changes here? Nothing. Responding to events, let's see, built-in controls. Don't care about this. Okay, so here we go. The following standard controls are built into UXML. It's pretty much what we need to get started. And then supporting mGUI. Here, hold on, let's see this. I'm mGUI. Use the mGUI container to place mGUI code inside of a visual element. Everything you can normally do inside of onGUI is supported. Alright, that's important. So everything you can normally do. So we could literally build everything of Filebase inside of this. So let's see here. You can arrange multiple mGUI containers and lay them out by mixing GUI layout and UI element layouts. It's not possible to add visual element instances inside of an mGUI container though. How do I create that container? Let's see. Okay, here we go. They have a whole documentation section on it. Alright, this is for Unity UI. So this is the in-game one. We don't care about that. We're focused on this guy here. Let's go back. Immediate mode GUI. This is what I want. So this is how we built Filebase currently, right? It's going through creating it like this. Now I want to see if I can do that with the new system. So Unity mGUI, let me see here. I think this is the legacy system. mGUI is a code-driven GUI system and is mainly intended as a tool for programmers driven by calls to the onGUI function. Yeah, I don't believe this is going to help me with getting something. Yeah, no, okay, this is just the legacy system, so we need to focus on just the UI elements, which is a problem. Let's see what content is out there. UI elements for steps. Okay, here we go. Setting up our example, a simple toolbar. Let's see. Create a new project, call it toolbar, editor window that you won't use. Keep the following open: console, scene, inspector, yada yada. You'll place all your scripts in the editor. UI elements does not require the use of a resources folder. Here, they're basically just inheriting from editor window. Let's see. Inherits from editor window. Creating your window. This is all still the same. You get window, and then we set the title. Nothing's changed here. And then here we go. Implementing a basic element using UXML. But, hold on. And then here's a reference to the root visual window. So first of all, you need to get the root visual element of the window. You can get it in the onEnable method. So var root equals root visual element. And then you can now start adding new elements into it. So creating an element directly in C#, that's exactly what I want. So before getting into UXML, let's first see how to create a basic element. Okay, here we go. This is how you do it the new way. So instead of using all this crap with like on GUI and things like that, I'm actually going to be interesting. Adds it to the root.add. It's like I'm initializing everything here. And then you can create UXML files to go further with it, but I don't want to go further with it. I'm actually okay with just this stuff here. So let's test this out. Let's get a window going. I'm going to delete that. Alright, let's see. Create dev HQ. And this is going to be plugin. And this is going to be our window. Oh my god. Alright, let's call this Filebase. I'm going to put this in an editor file. Alright, so editor, that's going to go inside of Filebase here. Alright, so game dev HQ plugin editor. Alright, so let's go and just create a namespace for that. Alrighty, we are going to be using the Unity engine.editor. Unity editor. I don't know if I need the namespaces for the roots, the new UI elements. Let's see. I do, Unity engine.UI elements. Alrighty. Get rid of this. This Filebase is a editor window. Alright, and all we gotta do now is just open this window. Menu item. I don't remember what it is for the tilde up. I'm just going to do it like that. Let's see. The menu item attribute allows you to add menu items. Oh, you know what? Sorry, this needs to be a method. So here we're just going to create a public static void open window. Alright, so now that we have a window, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter what I name this, open window or show window, but keep it consistent. So then here opens the window, otherwise focuses it if it's already open. So here our window is get window, All right, easy enough. So here we can do a get window of type Filebase. Easy enough. All right, and then we simply want to add a title, so we can say window.title is new GUI content, and then set a minimum window size. All right. I'm gonna just duplicate that real quickly. Alright, so we access the window, we set the title content, and that's going to equal a new GUI content. And we'll call this Filebase. And then from here, we'll set the min size. That's going to be vector 2. And we would do 250 by 250. Test it out. We should have a blank window. Filebase open. And there we go. Now it's not really 250 by 250. Not sure what happened there. Maybe it is 250 by 50. No. Alright, well that just doesn't want to work. Alright, let's see here. Verify that the title of your window is correct. Says Filebase there, that's fine. Alrighty, let's see here. So to create an element directly in C#, we're going to use our onEnable method that gets called when we open this window. So automatically, as soon as I open this window, onEnable will get called. And we're basically going to say, okay, reference the root of the window. So root is equal to the root visual element. I'm going to create a button, a new button, and then we can specify what that button does. So button.text is equal to test button. And then we can give it some style. So here we can say button.style.width. And button.style.height. So this way, if I can rebuild Filebase like this, this is like reading English, you know, it's typing English. Versus the current way I've done it, it's literally I think it's like 3,000, maybe 6,000 lines of code of just C#. It's awful. Let's see here, 30F. And now once we've done that, it says I have to do root.add. I'm going to add this button. Why do I have to do that? Do I need to do that even if I'm not going to use a UXML in CSS? Let's see. Go to Filebase, open. We have a test button. Now what happens if I get rid of this? What if I never did this? And what if I never did this? Can I just make buttons and not care? Or is that more for if I'm using the UXML? Okay, so it goes away. So you do need that stuff. Alright, it's gone. Pretty sure then if I just add the root back, it's still going to be broken. Yep. Okay, so you have to add that stuff. Now what's interesting is how do I subscribe an event to it? Like, how do I, when I click that button, how do I make it do something? You know? I'm assuming I can register something to this event, like as a button. So here's the button. Is there like a subscribe method? Is there an on callback? Here we go. Unclicked. Check that out. So this is called when the button clicked, and then this is called when we raise an event. So here, button.onClick, and check this out. I should be able to say this. Void test button. And we're going to say debug.log. Test button was clicked. So here, plus equals the test button method. Now, this is requiring use clicked instead. So button.clicked. And there we go. Let's see if that works. If that works, that's actually really, really cool. Allows you to neatly organize this. Unity Coder, is there some catalog for what's included in Filebase? Yeah, you can just go to, if you just download Filebase into Unity, it's free to download it. Just, you can browse the catalog from there. Over 5,000 game assets. All right, let's check this out. I'm going to open this. And test button, boom, check it out in the console here. Test button was clicked. Very cool. I actually like that a lot. That is so much simpler than having to have an if statement, checking if you click this and then execute code within on GUI. So far so good. Let's see here. What's the next step? So we got our button in there. And then here, reference to the root visual element, and then they create the button, they style it, and here you go. And there's the button. Okay, you could keep adding elements directly from a C# script, but as your UI window becomes more complex, the recommended workflow, which is shit by the way, is to separate the hierarchy of elements using UXML from their styling USS. Absolutely not. And using a C# script to connect everything. I don't like that at all. I feel like this is definitely a best practice. Like, don't get me wrong, like I could imagine if I ever worked for a studio that was doing things like this, you need, I get why you can do this, but man, from a programmer perspective, I would hate to have to do this and manage this. But from a design perspective, this is how I would want to do it. You know, this makes sense from a designer perspective, a web developer perspective. I am so far from a web developer. I want to be where the C# code is, and do it that way. I have no interest in possibly doing it ever this way. This seems miserable. Let's see here. I mean, this is how they're just creating different buttons and then they're querying them, which is kind of cool. So like here, they're doing a for each, they're setting up the buttons. They're querying the button class to get the first one, I guess. They're loading that asset. So like, it would allow you to organize things. Like you could have, this could be like my search asset, and then I can have a header asset and things like that. But I think I'm fine organizing it myself, honestly. Let's see here. Here they're just doing some setup buttons, just loading some textures and things like that. Private void create object. Okay, here, so let's test that out. Let's have this actually, let's test this out. Let's have this method create a cube. So here, we're gonna say create cube. It calls this test button, right? Test button was clicked, and then here we're going to do a GameObject.create primitive type .cube. We're gonna store a reference to it. All right, and then here we should be able to say go.transform.position is equal to vector3.0. And this should execute just fine. Boom, there you go. There's a cube in the scene, and I'm stacking up cubes. All right, so good, that works. All right, interesting. So let's see what else we can do with this. Let me see if I can find the old design files of Filebase. Oh, shoot, I might have to ask Al where the hell those are. Hang on. Here, let me go through the rest of this too before we dive into this. Connecting everything through a C# script. That's all they're doing. Setting up buttons and yada yada yada. Styling elements. This is so like horrible. This looks awful. Like, why would I want to do this? And then here they created a tool that does just that. It spawns those game objects in. So you can create like a level design tool or something like that. Easy enough. Although, check this out. How did they get those textures? Did they assign textures somewhere? They did. Where are those? Oh, okay, yeah, they have an icon for each one. Okay, nothing special. All right, cool. let's try this. Let's see here. I'm going to move this over. Let's see here. Give me a sec. I'm going to try and find these old design documents we had. Facebook. I'm going to have to pull in Filebase, all the imagery. Let me see here. Hey, what's up, Raoul? So, give me one sec, guys. I'm looking for these old design documents. Damn, I cannot find these. Shoot. Let me see here. Filebase PDF. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get some imagery from Okay, here we go. I found it. So this is the Filebase 3.0 update. I believe this is it. Yep. Alright, so this is how we built Filebase the first time. So basically, we had a design document that looks like this. And so we basically were like, okay, this allows us to keep things organized, knows exactly what we need to do. And then here's the structure for the search bar, the navigation, everything like that. So we'll see how much of this we will do, but gives you the idea of what I'm going to be building here using the new UI system. Alrighty, and then there's the code challenges. Cool. Yeah, for those who don't know, if you want to see what this plugin looks like, you can go to GameDevHQ. Just go to filebase.gamedevhq.com. I need to get all the imagery from this, so we got to install it. Just import this package, and at the very top you'll see a monkey icon here. You can open that. Filebase. Let's see. Alright, once it's installed, you can hit the tilde key, or you can go up here, open. This is Filebase. Alright, so inside of here is what we're going to be building using the new system. So currently this code base is a nightmare. It uses the GUI system and it's awful. Gosh, it's like legit 4,000 plus lines of code of just UI content. So we're going to rebuild this using the new UI system because we're going to need to soon. All right, so let's go ahead here. Let's test this out. I need these UI elements here. So here is the Filebase plugin. And let me keep these folder structures the same. So here's my Filebase plugin. All right, and then put that inside of GameDevHQ. Weird. For some reason, it will not let me have two of these. These are different names, but I guess it's close enough to where you can't. It's kind of annoying. So this is the original one. So I'm going to rename this to _ GameDevHQ, and this is ours. I actually only need the art assets, so I'm just going to take those. We just need the fonts and the sprites. That's all we need from this. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Rebuilding Filebase in the new UI system. All right, here's all our sprites. Good. All right, GameDevHQ. And then from there, we're going to put Filebase inside of that. And then once we have Filebase inside of here, we have our plugin and our editor code. And then we also have our sprites and our fonts. There we go. So let's just update the namespace in here. GameDevHQ.filebase.plugin. Yeah. Druvik, if you actually go to our YouTube channel, I did like 30 hours of live streaming building a custom client server architecture in Unity using Unet. If you want to learn about that, just look up RPG networking GameDevHQ. All right, so let's see here. Looking at this design, I also found the original concept of Filebase, I think. Let me see here. Set. Maybe not. No, okay, never mind. I don't think I have that one. That's all right. This is the one we want anyways. Okay, so looking at this, reduce search bar area, add challenges button, and let me see. I got a few updates to these. Hang on. Let me check and see which ones we have. I don't know if these are separate or if they're all the same files. All right, let's see. Reduce search bar area, reduce. Yeah, okay. All right, hold on. Add challenges, add marketing image that is pulled from site. Yeah, style changes to match the website. Add marketing banner for challenges. Send to search of free assets. We don't have those anymore. Open web page for events. New link to schedule, whoops. New link to describe changes to GHQ Filebase down there. Okay, cool. All right, so looking at this, first thing first, is we got this this over here. So and we're going to start top left, work our way over to the right. So here in the header, we have our top menu panel. We have these little bars, and then we have our home page and our downloads folder. But first, this here, that Filebase thing has a monkey in it, and I want that monkey in it. So we're going to do that first. All right, that's just our icon. Now, in order to get that, I don't even remember how we got an image in here. So basically, long story short, the title content here has an image. It supports an image possibly. So if I comma, there might be a texture image here. So build a GUI content object containing both text and an image. So if I want to get that image, we need a reference to it. And let's see here. We might need a resources folder for this. Resources, sprites, okay. All right, let's find out what sprite we're looking for here. Shoot, you know what? Hold on. I've been having this weird issue lately on Unity where I can't view sprites in Unity anymore. Oh, there we go. Okay. Weird. That was not working before. All right, good. Let's find that logo icon. So here's the home button, the downloads. Logo, logo hover, logo small. Logo smaller. I think we're using the smaller. Okay, so let's open this up. Alright, so inside of here, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to create a class that's going to store all of these values. I think that would make a lot of sense to do. So here we have our editor for the plugin. And then let's go ahead here, we'll create a, what should I name this? Like a resources or a util class. Organize this a bit differently. In the real Filebase, we have everything inside of this one class, and it's a nightmare. Let's see, if I were to organize this into a images gallery or gallery, let's call it. I don't think we need a new folder just yet. We'll call this gallery. And this will be like a util class that we can just pull from. All right, so gallery. And this is going to be a public static class gallery. And actually, I don't know if it can. Hold on. In the traditional Filebase, I have it to where when I launch this, basically it grabs all of the texture data. I need to make sure it can do that. So here, if I have my gallery, probably still needs to be a Unity editor. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? I don't know what's going to execute this class, honestly. We'll have to see. Because it's not an editor window. So I think what may happen here, hopefully we can do this, public class. This is our gallery. This is going to hold everything. So here we're going to have, for example, a texture 2D. And this is going to be a texture 2D of what? This is our logo smaller. All right, here we go, logo smaller. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna have a public static void load textures. And when we open our window, we're gonna make sure we do that, make sure everything is loaded. And I should be able to say here, logo smaller equals the resources dot load. Question is, where does resources dot load read from? I have no idea. as a texture 2D asset. And then here's the path. Okay, so here we're going to say assets GameDevHQ, Filebase, plugin, editor, resources, sprites. And then it's looking for logo smaller .png or something like that. We'll check. I don't know if I need the .png on it or not. Let's see, logo smaller is what kind of file? It's a PNG. All right, real quickly, let's add a namespace here. It's GameDevHQ.Filebase. .plugin. .editor. Alrighty, let's see if that works. Here, if logo smaller, it's not equal to null. Alright, successfully loaded logo smaller. Let's see here. We don't have to run it. No, I did that. Alright, let's go to Filebase open. And when we open this, we need to tell it to load from the gallery. Alright, so here we have our editor, we have our Filebase and gallery. So I should be able to just call that method now. So here I open my window. On enable, we're going to load everything. After we add the button, I guess, we can be like, hey, load up. Maybe we should do that first, honestly. So right here, we're just going to say load textures. And I should be able to just say gallery dot load textures. Let's test it out. And nothing. Why not? Where's gallery? All right, let's see here. Loading those textures. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I think it actually worked. Was it late or did I trigger it late? What the hell just happened there? Hold on. Let's go to Filebase open. Okay, here we go. Load textures was called, but it wasn't called successfully. Or I didn't resource load anything successfully. So why not? Sprites, logo, resources. If we look here, you have to go into plugin, resources, sprites, plugin, editor, is that right? Oh no, not editor, just resources. Okay. Let's try that. And let's see. Nope. Still failing to get that. Why the hell am I failing to get that? So we have GameDevHQ. We have assets, GameDevHQ. Let's see here. We have assets, GameDevHQ. That's correct. What am I missing? Assets / GameDevHQ / Filebase / plugin / resources / sprites, and then / logo small. Oh, smaller. Duh. Oh wait, hold on. No, I do want smaller. Back smaller.png. And then here, if logo smaller is not equal to null, we successfully loaded it. That's a problem. It's loading textures, but not successfully. Crap. Textures add. There we go. So it loads an asset stored at a path in a folder called resources. Okay, look at that. Text file, JSON, texture, resources, textures, texture 01. Dude, this is exactly what I'm doing. Like literally exactly what I'm doing. Although, hold on, actually. This is inferring resources. What if there's like multiple resources though? What if it's like, how do I ensure that it uses my resources? Huh. Huh. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, dang it. I don't want to open up the old Filebase code. I want to do this without it. Can't remember how I previously have done that. Try giving path under the resources folder only. Keeping the sprites, whatever, from Filebase and resource folder will bring all that into the user project build, increasing its size in the end. Yeah, you know what? I don't recall. Well, no, you don't compile traditional Filebase. The way Filebase says it is it's automatically stripped for you. But let me see here. I don't even know if we actually need the resources folder, because we really don't. We shouldn't be keeping them anyways in resources folder. I don't think the legit Filebase had resources. Hold on, let's see something. I don't remember what our file structure is for that. Let me see here. Where is? Let's just look at it. So inside of here, you have the plugin. And then, yeah, it is a resources folder. With it, no, if it's in a plugin folder, it's ignored. So if your resources folder is in the plugin folder, it doesn't get compiled. Why? So we have that. So plugin resources. Plugin resources. What is going on here? Yeah, this actually should work. I don't know why it's not. Hang on, let me check something. Oh, right, duh. asset database, guys. We're going to use asset database. We don't need to resources.load. That's for more like runtime applications. What we can do is we will do asset database. So assets, game dev HQ, Filebase, plugin, resources, and then sprites, and then logo smaller.png. And we might need to cast this probably. Let's say here. And we do. So we get a PNG, we're going to cast that as a texture 2D. Returns the first asset object of type at a given asset path. Load asset at path. What is it not like? Let's see what I'm doing wrong here. Looks okay to me. Okay, asset database, load asset at path. Oh, type of 2D texture. Okay, gotcha. You have to double cast it, I guess. There we go. This should successfully work. All right, let's test it out. To open Filebase, clear. And there we go. Successfully loaded logo smaller. All right, good deal. So that's in memory. We have access to it. Now we can focus on getting it to display. Let's see here. So let's see now. Let's go ahead and get it next to our logo there. So we have this, which means I now have access to it. So here, we're basically going to say, okay, load textures. Here's our button, and we create a cube, all that crap. Now this is a problem. We actually want to load textures before we initialize like our window and stuff like that. Although I don't know if I can call that stuff here. Although I don't see why not. Basically, we can have a whole initialization process, make sure everything gets loaded in and loading and everything like that, which we'll get to. But for now, we'll keep this here. OnEnable gets called. We are going to have our title. Now, in order for us to do this, we're going to have to access the title again. So here we're just going to say window, which we can't access. And so I get the current instance of it, I guess. So here, var window is equal to get window. This window Filebase. All right, and then window.title content is equal to new GUI content, Filebase, and we're going to say gallery, and then logo smaller. See what that does. Might need to move this to open window. We'll see. Have like a whole init method going on. All right, that did nothing. So we will need to probably do it here. Let's see if I can. Let's load the textures. Title content. And then here we add our button. Let's try that. All right, and boom, check that out. We have our logo and Filebase. Yay. All right, good deal. So let's go ahead here and clean this up a bit. So on enable is going to happen. It's where we're going to have to process all of our buttons and things like that. We're basically just going to register everything so they have their events in. And then let's see here. Public class Filebase editor window, menu item Filebase open, show window. We grab our window. We will load our textures. Here's our window title content equals new GUI content. And then we set our size. Now I don't know why this size actually is not working properly. That does not seem to be doing anything. So let me see here. There's a window.setSize. Or what happens if I don't set a size? This just, it's whatever I close it at, maybe. Is that how that works? If I put it all the way this big, reopen it. Yeah, okay, interesting. Close tab. How do I open this as if it was like a fresh start? Not sure I can. Alright, not terribly worried about the size then for now. We'll have to play around with that. Alright, so let's see here. Now we can get into doing some organization stuff for the headers here. So, let's see. We open our window. We load our textures. I set the title. And let's pull up our design document. Alright, so now we're going to focus on this top header. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons on the left side, and then we have our profile stuff over here on the right. So let's see here. So we're going to categorize this as a header. So for drawing this is what's really interesting about how this new system is going to work. I don't have to have an update loop anymore. So positioning these elements is interesting. So let's try this. Let's get this to be the proper button. It's going to be that arrow, right? So if we look, it has the left arrow and the right arrow icons, which should be over here. Let's find those buttons. Oh, actually, you know what? I think those actually might just be, I think it's just text, honestly. Let me confirm something. Hang on. I want to grab these, I believe these are just text. Let's pause evidence. Yeah, here. I'm going to grab this too. So usually we use Filebase open and things like that. Let's do this. Filebase open. I'm going to put this little monkey icon here. So we got Filebase / open, and then let's add the hotkey for the tilde. So underscore tilde operator. There we go. That way I can open it with the tilde. Alright. And then for this guy, he is another, let me see here. Find this button. Yeah, here we go. So instead of create cube, we're going to have that be the text for the left side, and we'll flip it for the right side. Okay. And then here, button click, this is the back button. So this is going to keep track of like what page we're currently on. So that's going to handle the functionality of the back button. All right, and we'll get rid of this. All right, so inside here, this is our back button. Now, we want to organize this, though, into our top panel. So what we're going to do is, let's see here. I don't know how I can organize this, honestly. Outside of this, let me see here. Hang on. Yeah, okay, we can do it like this. So here, we're going to create a top panel. And inside that top panel, we're going to have a back button draw, like back button gets called. So here, top panel, and then we'll draw this button inside of this top panel. So just like this. And ideally, we'll have to figure out how to add all of these elements to this root, of course, but let's see here. This root might need to be declared globally here. Let me see. This is a visual element. Visual element. Alright, here's our root element. So now I should be able to do this. So on enable, we're going to populate top panel. And we can organize it. So populate top panel. And let's see here. Populate top panel. And we're going to create a button, our button text. And we'll revert the size in a moment. And then here we're going to say button.clicked plus equals the back button. But we are going to, let me see. Hey, what's up, Patrick? All right, so let's see here. So we have our top panel, our clicked back button, but I want this to not just be back button. I really want this, we need to keep this organized. So this is gonna actually have to be, let me see here. This clicked event is expecting an action. We may generically create these things. Because otherwise I'm gonna have to say, this is the back button. Like I wanna say this is top panel back button. That way we know that this is the back button for the top panel. All right, and then void top panel back button pressed. Let's save that. Once I've done that, we have to do the size. We'll get that in a moment. And then once I've finished this button, we need to add it to our thing. So here we're gonna say root visual element dot add, and we're gonna say add this button. And then we can focus on the next button for the top panel. All right, let's save that, and that should be okay. And then here we populate top panel, so we just call top panel. All right, there we go. So we got our button that currently automatically, okay, that's kind of nice. So in mGUI, it does not automatically do this. We have to calculate the math of you doing this with current Filebase. So that's nice that I might not have to do that anymore. I'd very much like not to have to do that anymore. Now let's see here. Let's go ahead and set the sizing and spacing of this properly to the design doc. Okay, so it's super tiny. It's a little square to the left. and it has some padding. But let's go ahead here, size a button. We're going to say button.size. Max size, perhaps? Let's see. Stretch to parent size, stretch to parent width. I don't want to do any of that. World to local space. Huh, actually don't see anything for size. How did I do it before? Before I deleted that? I have no idea. Hold on. Oh, right, style. Duh. Okay, here we go. Button.style. And then, let's see, what do we want to do? Button style. Button.style, and we want to size. Min height and width. Okay, I think the height so far is good. It's taking the texture height, I assume, or the text height. Min width is going to equal maybe max width. Let's start there. This is going to be in pixels. Set to 5. All right, check that out. Not bad. Set that to 10. All right, it's actually not bad. Hold on, it could be a little bit more though. 20? Okay. So now that we got that, and then how do we add padding to it from the left? So button style max width. Padding left, here you go. All right, that did nothing. And here, the button works, so back button pressed. Good. Let's see here. Back button pressed. Button text. Let's go and try 20. Oh, that's moving it within it. Okay, right. I think I want spacing. So let me remove that. So let's set this back. We don't want to do anything to padding. I want white space. Or do I want padding left? No, padding top, position, overflow. How do I get a space? Let's see, word wrapping over multiple lines if not enough space is available to draw text of an element. No. Have a container behave if its content overflows its own box. No. Oh, here we go. Margin, I think, right? Margin left. Yeah, I think so. All right, there we go. That worked. All right, cool. So let's check out the design doc, see where we need to get this thing to. Basically, it's right under, if you see that, it's right under the logo. So right about there. I think it's even a little too far. So let's try 5. Perfect. All right, good deal. Now let's go ahead and flip it, do the other one. So if we look at this, it's got the second one right next to it. So let's go ahead here. We're just going to create that button again. So here's a root visual element for adding these guys. I guess we can access this all at the same time. We might create a method to generate these dynamically for us, perhaps. We'll see. For now, though, we'll keep it separate. So here's a new button. Let's go ahead and add a new button. we're going to do the opposite of this. Ooh, hold on. I wonder if I can repurpose this button. That'd be nice if I could, but or if I have to keep these as unique names. We'll see if this breaks anything with the on-click events. I'm also not 100% sure. I should add it as a separate one, but we'll see. So here we want to do right, so copy that. All right, and then here the button on click event. And we're going to say top panel, back button, forward button. All right, and then here, let's do all this. Max width is going to be 20. The margin left is going to change, I think. It's going to have to be the size of this one here. So the max width of this is 20. We'll have to play around with this margin left to get that proper. But let's see here. I'm curious if this is even going to work. We're going to take this. All right, save it, and let's see. Okay, that's a problem. So it's adding it as a new separate element, but it did add it as, it let me repurpose the variable name, which is important. So forward and backwards do work. All right, so we need to actually get this in line though, which is where definitely the UXML as well as the, what's it called? The CSS would come in handy, although we should be able to do this on our own. There should be a way for me to create a layout group or something that would say, hey, you guys are going to be in line. So let's go to that reference page that we talked about. There was a UI elements reference. Here we go. Here's everything we can do. We want something related to layout. Or begin. Shoot. In mGUI, we were able to do a GUI layout group or something like that, or begin horizontal layout, and I can organize things within that. Doesn't look like I can do that anymore. Let's see here. This could be a style property. Oh, actually, no, hold on. In Unity's guide, how did they get multiple buttons? Because look at what they're doing, right? They have all these icons in a row. How did they do it? Resources.load. And then here they're populating the buttons, query all the buttons. Style sheets modified while using in a running editor window take effect immediately. Style sheets can be attached. Open your USS file there. You will see match, yada, yada, yada. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Direction row. So there's something called a flex direction. Let's see if we can access this through Unity code somehow, because we need to specify that I need this button container, or I want to be able to organize this into containers. Like, I would love to be able to do that. I don't know if there's a way for me to do that though. Visual element dot containers, or let's see, how can I do this? Button dot container. Do I have access to flex? Oh, I do actually. Defines the main axis of the flex layout. This is a enum though. Flex direction dot column or row. Okay, so I can do this. So how do I use the flex direction? Okay. Let's see, this isn't going to be probably very helpful, but maybe. Okay, direction. And then flex direction. And then what would you call this container element? Like this whole container thing. This is the root, right? Ah, you know what? I wonder if you have multiple roots. Is it possible that this root element is the top panel? So in that case, could I say root visual element? Or what is it called? Root element, right? So could I say root element dot, let's see here, what's available? Add to class, blur, bring to font, capture, child count. Has pointer captures, layout. Okay, this is a rect layout. Maybe I could use recs. Let's see here. Queries. Stretch style sheets. Returns a visual style sheet set that manipulates style sheets attached to this element. Not quite. Here, let's see everything we can do with flex. Flex direction. Let's take a look at that library. So the flex direction has column, column rows, and rows reverse. It's not gonna tell me anything else other than that. Left to right, and right to left. How do we use this? So, let's see. They did this by using the buttons container. I don't know if I have a visual element container. It's part of the problem. Their documentation for this is not super great. Hold on, here's a UI elements. Elements that draw MGUI content. Or a template container. What the hell is the difference? What's a template container? Okay, here we go. All attributes of bindable element template, a string identifier for this template. So that's like if I created one possibly. And what about container? Toolbar, container to hold two. Okay, cool. So there's actually oh my god, wait a minute. There's an actual toolbar element. Isn't this essentially a top panel toolbar, right? I wonder if I should just use that. Like, what if I were to create my toolbar? Which tool is active in the editor? Is there like a root? Dot tooltip, no. It's capital TL bar. Huh. Oh, Unity editor. Here we go. Okay, Unity editor elements as well as Unity engine UI elements. Alright, hold on here. So let's see. So if I type container, elements that draws MGUI content, but then let's check out this toolbar. How do we use this? Toolbar menu. A drop-down menu. Oh shit, dude. All this is like automated for us now. We had to build this using for loops within for loops within for loops in current Filebase. Very cool. Let's see here. Toolbar menu element. A toolbar for tool windows. So if I wanted to create a toolbar, so var bar, a new toolbar. What does that allow me to do? Add an element to this elements container. Literally, could I say bar.add button? Like, could I do that and then root elements add this button? Like, tell me that would work. That'd be so cool. Then root visual elements is going to add not button, but my bar, which has the buttons. And then here, we'll do it again. I'm gonna basically say, okay, here's my two buttons. Right, we have our two buttons. And then we define our toolbar. we bar.add buttons the first time. So put that at the top. We add the first button, and then we add the second button. And then here, root village elements bar. Curious if that will work. Oh man, that's cool. Oh, that is clean. I do like that. Interesting. That is actually very cool. That streamlines so much work. Huh. Okay, let's see what else we can do with this. So I want them touching, and I think it's because they have some padding now. So like this button here has margins. I'm gonna remove the margins on this one. And it comes a little closer. And I think I have to adjust the padding now. So I set the max width of this guy to 20. If I want to bring them closer, which they're actually probably fine where they are, but if I want it to really be like this, how do I lower that gap, right? So let's see here. What needs to happen? Button.style.padding right equals like 20. Or is that, I think that's inside the element though, right? That's not what I want. Yeah, no, I don't want that. I want button.style.margin left to be like a -10. Like suck in, right? There we go. All right, we're getting there. -5. Let's try -2. All right, very cool. Here, let's do a -1. See how close we can get those touching. Ooh, what happened there? -2 was too much. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay. It's supposed to be -3. Interesting. I do like that a lot. So currently in the current Filebase we have, we had to build out everything in one line using these begin horizontal, end horizontals, super not performant. It's running on GUI. These buttons look like they're cached in memory and using events, which is fantastic. You can see here they're working. And then this toolbar was already built for me. I can literally organize this by toolbars. That is so freaking cool. And then I can add everything to the visual element. So all these buttons are already added using just one visual element here, where I just add the bar. So that I like a lot. So this top panel, I'm going to call this the top toolbar. So top toolbar. And this is going to be top toolbar. So we create a bar. Here's my left button. Here's my right button. I'm just going to add the bar every time. And then, let's see here. And then here I just basically add the bar. Yep. Add bar to root. Needed for visual. Alright, so let's see here. And then top panel, this is going to be top toolbar. Copy that. So that's forward. Alrighty, there we go. Cool. Let's save it, make sure everything is good, and then we'll take a look at what's next. Sweet. I hit the tilde key. Everything is good. Successfully load logo smaller. Awesome. Back button. Forward button. Sweet. All right, very cool. Next, what do we have? So now we have our home icon spaced right underneath the ending there. of our content. So let's put our home button right here. So we need to go to the gallery and add that. So let's go into our icons here and find our home. So here's our home icon. Let's call this home underscore icon. Alrighty, and we're gonna load that. So here's logo smaller, public static texture 2D, and this is going to be for our home icon. And then here we will add it, or we'll grab it. So, and it's super important that we check this, by the way, because if it fails to load, we can detect things like, you know, when we distribute this, you don't get the access to the source code, right? So you get a DOL. So I can detect, hey, if you failed to load this, I can fix it for you. You know, I can force a download or an update. I could lock you out if I think you're trying to use your own graphics or whatever I want to do. I have full control over it, right? So I'm going to keep these logs here and things like that, or keep them organized into their own checks like this. So that's for logo smaller. Here we're gonna have home icon. We're gonna do the same thing. So here, this is going to be for the home icon. And that path is the home icon. Okay. Good. And then we'll simply do this. Alright, successfully loaded the home icon. Okay, let's save it and test it out. Open Filebase, successfully loaded home icon and logo smaller. Good. Alright, so we have access to the home icon now. So let's create that button. So here's the bar.add, and then here is where we create our new button for this. So here's our buttons. We're not going to do anything with margin and max just yet. This is going to be, when I click this, the home button. So this is going to be the void top toolbar home button. And then here we're just going to say home button pressed. And then here we're actually going to, instead of text, I want it to be content. So it's going to be button dot Let's see, background image. I don't know if I want to do that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you. Home icon goes there. Inside of here, how do I get this button to display an image? How did they do it? They got an image displayed doing button icon, background image. Okay, so it is a background image. Good deal. So here, button style.back. Equals the gallery dot home icon. So bar add button, here's our new button, our style background home icon, button dot clicked. And then we simply add bar dot add this new button. Alrighty. So one of the things I could do if I wanted to, I think there may be an opportunity to, is I can create a constructor that can build buttons for me. So I can do this in one line, essentially. We'll see if what's consistent among them though, in order before we do that. Let's see. Hey, how's it going, Ava? So let's go ahead here. Let's save that. Test this out. What's it look like? All right, there's our little icon. So Let's go in here, reload this. Successfully loaded home icon, but it's obviously not the home icon. Also, this is thinking it's the forward button pressed because it is. This needs to be home button pressed. Now, I do not know why the home icon is not showing. That's very upsetting. So let's see here. Home underscore icon PNG, texture 2D. It's successfully loaded, but you just can't see it. I am not sure why. It could be a size issue, possibly. Button dot style background image is that home icon. Let me see here. I wonder if there's a different way to do that. Displays an image. Fold outs, a button, a standard push button. Toolbar button. It doesn't have any like additional things in it, which is very annoying. All attributes of text element. Okay, so let's see here. Hold on. What can we do in here? Button, and just to confirm that it's that issue, let's go ahead and load in the logo, right? So instead here, we're gonna say dot logo smaller. Let's see what happens. Negative. I'm okay with huge lines of code. I can think so much deeper in code than I can using UXML and USS. I have no interest in doing that. I hate web development with a passion. But I don't know why, and it's important to be able to realize that everything you can do USS and UXML and all that crap, you can do it through code. Let me see. Why are we not getting that image? Let's see, button, style, background image, gallery, logo smaller. Set that back to the home icon. Button clicked. So what else we have on here? Content container. Child elements are added to this usually. Oh, that's cool. Background image to paint in the elements box. What's display do? Display element. Oh, here's a flex direction for this. Direction of the main access to layout. Children in a container. I could set the height and width based off the texture. I wonder if that's what I need to do. Let's try that. Let's set the max height equal to the gallery dot home icon dot height. And then let's do the button dot style dot max width equal to the gallery dot home icon dot width. Something is null. Top toolbar assets Filebase line 55. Weird. Home icon. Is it not loaded? Load textures, galleries here. Public static home icon. Successfully loaded the home icon. Interesting. Why is that happening? Awesome, man. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. I just had to have close Filebase, I guess. Okay, awesome. There we go. We got our home. I think that was the issue maybe, is that we weren't using the width and height of this thing. But we have it here now, which is awesome. So here's our home icon, and then we can use the margins to move it over. So here we're just going to say, hey, button style dot from the left, margin left, right? And we want to basically move it, yeah, margin left. And these guys are all right. Is that what this one was? Margin left, 5, margin left, -3, okay. Margin left, I want to say from the left, like give me 20 pixels. Let's see. That is super annoying. I don't know why it makes me do that every time. Alright, that looks good. For some reason, every time it compiles, it's breaking this guy. I don't know why. Should not be doing that. Okay, and then here, we do 21. Let's get it. Oh, it needs to be perfectly under that thing, so like 25. Yeah, that is stupid. Man, that is so annoying. Use USS selector instead, writing hard code constants to every element style. That way it makes harder refactoring code later. Probably not. I'll be able to create all sorts of different structures out of this. Like I already talked about, I think if these buttons contain consistency, we'll be able to create a constructor for this and stuff like that. I have no interest in using the proper USS styling or UXML. I'm not a fan of the system. And the only benefit I see right now is that if this continues to have compilation errors with updating in real time, USS may be kind of nice to have. But regardless, the amount of code to generate these things is far less or far fewer lines than today's Filebase version. Today's Filebase version is like 5,000 lines of code. This will be way more neatly organized. But there's a good chance I'm going to scrap all this anyways. This is just experimenting with what the new system is capable of. I might explore USS CSS maybe later, but probably not. I hate with a passion web dev, so probably not. Let's see. Home button. Alright, set that to 30. Some weird ass compilation errors. Alright. Gotta move it over more. Let's close it. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe if I make a static reference to that, shouldn't matter. The new UI elements seems pretty cool from a code perspective. We're just trying to explore what it has to offer. Alright, I'd say right there is good. Maybe even 1 back, although that's pretty damn straight. Maybe 39. But what's great about this is this should automatically scale. At least I believe it should. If it doesn't, I'm going to be annoyed if we have to do the math for that. Maybe then it would be worth using the USS, but probably not. Let's see here. Okay, good. So I can choose to create these things as flexible or standalone. which is good. And if I dock this here, or wherever I dock this, now that's a problem actually. I don't know how that's actually supposed to behave in the traditional one. I'll have to look at that. It's a different way to rendering style frame GUI. It's most similar to web and WPF application. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Crit is right. It is. They've added some new helper methods, and things aren't running constantly anymore on GUI, which is nice. It looks like they're kind of just rendered once, or at least maybe underneath the hood it's being taken care of. But then, yeah, I don't know. Definitely feels more optimal. I don't like the dynamics of this. The dynamics here make me a little worried. That could be the bar styling though, so let me see here. On this bar, I should be able to say bar.style.justify content. Let's have a flex start. Let's see what that does. Dude, why is that going null? That is so annoying. I might have to be null checking these things. It's a pain in the ass. Alright, let's see here. Didn't really do too much yet. Okay. Did scale it that way. Those elements seem to want to stay. That's interesting. Let's see, it works like DOM. Yeah, I haven't touched document object model stuff in like 10 years. Have you seen UI Toolkit debugger? Vaguely. Let's see here. Does it recognize mine? Oh, it does. Oh, that's cool. So here's my dock area. This is my root visual element container. Oh, check that out. I have a toolbar in here. And it tells me I have 3 buttons. Oh, dude, that's pretty damn cool. Oh, shit, look at this. Ah, it's like one of those, what is it called? When you're looking at a web page, you can inspect them. Ah, very cool. Interesting. What can I do in here at runtime? Wait a minute. Can this generate my style sheets? Yeah, it's like Chrome developer tools basically. Let's see here. Hold on. Positioning, text, debug ID, the name. Ah, check this out. Dude, this is cool. Overflow, hidden, margin left. Can I do this? Tell me I can do this. Oh my god, guys, look at that. Holy shit. That is game changer. Oh my god, I can literally just put the button on and get it positioned here, write the values down, go into code. Oh shit, that's cool. Damn, I like this. Wow, look at that. That is so powerful, dude. And then, let's see here. What else can we do? Background image is the home icon. Oh, I could swap that out at runtime. Fuck yeah. That's cool. No, I'm not using the USS. I refuse to use the USS. Unless it generates it for me. Like if there was a button in here that said I can design it in here and I click, you know, save and it does it for me, then I would consider using USS. But until then, absolutely not. Let me see, white space, you need text align, middle center. Oh man, this is cool. You got your padding stuff here. Oh dude, this is so, wow, this is gonna save a lot of time. Very cool. All right, and then I can literally take these values. So this margin left here was 38%, or 30, what was that, 37? It's perfect, 38. That is so cool. Man, that is pretty cool. You'll know later, USS was also a game changer. I just like I don't know. I kind of hate the idea of UXML and USS, but maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe I can just duplicate a button. It goes in line here. I can use the editor to move shit around easier. And then all I have to do is handle the button registry functions. But I don't know. I like programming. I don't mind, you know, building it all like this. But then again, you're right. It's like 50 lines of code for 3 buttons. You know, and you organize it within methods and shit like that. But I don't know. I wanted to make sure that it's definitely possible to do everything through code, which it looks like it is, which is important. Interesting. Alright, should we see? Alright, so let's see here. How long have we been streaming for? We've been streaming for about 2 hours. So it took 2 hours to do this amount of work. Not a lot. But I also don't know the system, so I'm like figuring it out as we go. I guess we can see how long it would take using the USS UXML. Maybe. Debating if I want to do that. Alrighty, let's see how long it takes to do this. I'm going to start over. So let me go ahead here. I'm going to keep this aside, and we're going to do it through this guide to get me started. So on here, we're going to follow this then. This is how we're going to do it. Okay, let's see. We're going to follow their examples. I don't really care too much about this Filebase stuff. We'll have to reload this anyways and redo it all. I'm going to delete this. Actually, I'm going to keep that for now, but let me go ahead here. Let's rename this to code. Codeway. All right, let's do this. All right, setting up our example, a simple toolbar. You can close the editor windows that you won't use, keep the following open. To get started, we're going to create a folder named editor, and inside of it, a folder named resources. Okay. Here's our editor. Create my resources. All right, you will place all your scripts inside the editor folder and your assets, if need be, inside the resources folder. Create a new C# script and name it Quick Tool. Alrighty. Place it inside the editor folder. So UI Elements does not require the use of a resources folder. However, we will be using one here to better organize the project. That's interesting. Open the script using your favorite text editor. Delete everything that's inside and copy and paste the following. No, we don't do copy paste. Alright, let's see here. So this is going to be another editor window. So using Unity Editor. And using Unity Engine.UI elements. Alright, and then in here we simply say you're an editor window. And let's see here. Next, we're going to create the window. Just going to copy this. So show window. This is our quick tool. And I guess you can do Command-Shift-T to open it. And then we need to create a window. So opens the window. So get window based on, this is going to be a quick tool. We'll add a title to our window. All right. And then window dot min size equals a new vector 2 and 250 by 50. Alrighty. The characters Control-Shift-T, save your code, go back to Unity, verify. There we go. Boom. We got our window. Okay. Implementing a basic element using UXML. So a newly created element is ignored until it is added to the root visual element. Each editor window. And let me see here. I'm just reading this on my other monitor, guys, so I don't have to keep going back. All right, let's see here. Oh, hold on. Hey, Credit, you've posted stuff before? Hold on, let's check this out. What do you got? I don't see any of the editor window stuff. Feel free to post a link. All right, let's see here. So a newly created element is ignored until it's added to the visual element. So each window editor each editor window comes with every visual element for all the UI in it. Oh, it's the first one. All right, we'll go back to it in a moment. Okay, so first of all, you need to get the root visual element of the window. You can get it in the onEnable method. So let's grab it from the onEnable method. So void onEnable. We're going to grab the root, which is the root visual element. All right, we're familiar with that. Now we're going to create an element directly in C#. Just doing this. So here we have a root element. We create a test button here. Right, we're all familiar with this. We just spent 2 hours doing this. Give it some style, and then add it to the button. Okay, verify it. Open the quick tool. All right, good stuff. Here's my button. Okay, you can keep adding elements directly from a C# script, but as your UI window becomes more complex, the recommended workflow is to separate the hierarchy of elements using UXML from their styling and using a C# script to connect everything together and add behaviors, actions, and bindings. So we're going to delete what we have and let's set up UML. Okay, cool. So we're done with this. So yeah, we're going to remove all of this. We're just keeping the window, I guess. Probably on enable as well, maybe. All right, let's see. Creating UXML files. Creative, I hate this. I'm coming for you. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. I've never even heard of scriptable wizards. What are scriptable wizards? Is that a video game? Never even heard of that. Let's see here. Okay, so a UXML file is basically the structure and the hierarchy of all the elements you're going to create. On your desktop, we're going to create 2 text files and name them respectively, a quick tool main and a button template. Change both file extensions to UXML, then inside both of them, copy and paste the following. Oh, wow, I already hate that process. Why can't I just right click here and create that? There's no UXML stuff? Come on. For reals? What a shitty thing. Oh, it's a oh, that's funny. It's a way to create editor windows, but with a better workflow. Oh, that's cool. Is it like it's an asset store plugin? Never seen it. That one way of doing thing that cons is it linked to one USS, one UXML. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna open up a notepad. And I gotta save this notepad as. And I'm gonna save this as what? Quick tool main. Quick tool underscore main. And I'm gonna save this as a UXML file. UXML. .uxml. I'm gonna save that to my desktop. I'm gonna duplicate the other one. Give me a second here. Hold on. Trying to find out where the hell this thing just went. Okay, here we go. Quick tool. Oh, kill me. Hold on. Quick tool. I don't remember how to control paste on Windows. And then this one's going to be button template. Is that right? Unity includes that. A visual. Oh, are you talking about for some? Wait, what? What is Scriptable Wizard? Wait, what? Is that like officially released by Unity? Because I would love to be able to do this through a visual. Like if I could build editor windows the way I can build game UI using their UI system. Holy shit, guys, it would be so easy. I could build Filebase in like 5 minutes. Okay, let's see. What is this? Scriptable Wizard. Editor wizards are typically opened using a menu item. On wizard update. What? How have I never heard of this? Derive from this class to create an editor wizard. And what does this let me do? Looks like it's part of the new UI element system. Huh. What's the manual say on that? Oh, okay. It looks like it's more of a, for tools. Is that right? It's kind of like a... Interesting. I don't think this is exactly what I'm looking for. But interesting. I mean, that's kind of cool. Alright, let's see here. Hey, quick question. If I bought your course on the complete guide for Unity, do I get full access to Game Dev Issues Filebase? No, that's separate. That's part of Unity's Humble Bundle deal. You can get Filebase though by using code YouTube at checkout. It's like $49 for your first sign up offer. Or you can go to learn.gamedevhq.com and you can get it included with all the courses. Alright, let's see here. So here are my two files. Okay, that's what Unity wants me to do. And then once I have those two files, button template. Just remove the space, keep it how they have it. Alrighty, here we go. I got these two files. I'm going to put these into Unity now. I don't know where I put these. It says, then inside both of them, copy and paste the following. Let's see here. Finally, drag and drop both files into your project folder in Unity. Place them inside Assets, Editor, Resources. Okay, so these go in the Resources folder, but I need to open them first, apparently, and do something. But I'm going to do that after, because I should be able to open them from here, I would think. Yeah, good. Okay. Check this out. So here are my resources. So here's my code. Why I can't just create this type of file makes no sense to me, but okay. Let me open this. And we're going to add the headers that we need. So I need this in here. I need to tell it that I'm using the Unity Engine UI elements. So like that. And for quick tool, so this one's good. And then for the quick tool main, I gotta do the same thing. Here we go. All right, so it knows I'm using Unity Engine UI elements. Drag and drop both files into your resources folder. A very efficient way to build your layout would be to create a template inside a UXML file and instantiate it through another one. The button template file will be exactly what it says, a template of a button with a visual element nested in it. That will serve as its icon. All right, hold on, let me reread that. The button template file will be exactly what it says, a template of a button with a visual element nested. Oh, okay, gotcha. So if I want to create multiple buttons, I can use this template that defines the buttons. Oh, cool, so I can actually define like a asset and then the visual elements of it, that square, the UI image attached, and like, for example, we can define a template for each asset page for Filebase. Very cool. Nested in, that will serve as an icon, the quick tool main thing. Let me see here. It almost works like DOM, so I can able markdown documents in the editor. Okay, interesting. Let's see. A very efficient way to build your layout would be to create a template inside a file. Okay, and we did that. So now here, the button file will be exactly that. The quick tool main file will be the hierarchy that will be added to the root. So that's going to be our Filebase main essentially. It will instantiate the template as many times as you need it to and serve as the hierarchy for the visual elements. Here we're going to create a button template. So open the button template, and now we're going to write some UXML code. So here we're going to add a comment. This is HTML, and we're going to create the button. All right, so once I've created the button, we're going to do so using a button class. So here, I'm going to create a button, and I'm going to give it a class representation of quick tool button. So we can CSS this later by quick tool button. That's going to be my button, and then here they have a comment for what. This is going to add a visual element child. Okay. And then here I want to say I'm going to add a visual element. I hate how we don't get tooltips when we code like this. Kind of sucks. Visual element class. And this is going to be the identifier of quick tool button icon. All right, and then we close off the button. So very, very HTML-like if you've ever done any HTML where you have an open close bracket for everything. And this should be underneath here. So we have our, and I bet you if I opened up like Dreamweaver or something like that, this would be fine. All right, and that needs to be capital B button probably. All right, here we go. So we got a button created. And now you need another UXML file which will instantiate this button template multiple times. So let's create the hierarchy. Open the quick tool main. So we're going to open up quick tool main. Oh shit, hold on. This goes inside of, I'm in the wrong one. This goes inside of here. All right, quick tool main is empty. We haven't started yet. All right, here we go. So let's create the hierarchy. Open the quick tool main. And it wants me to do this. Creates our template and gives it a name. So I need to first name the template. So we're going to create a template. So template, and the path of this template is going to be where it's housed at. So assets, editor, resources, button template.uxml. All right, and then here I guess I can give it a name attribute. So name equals button template. This is how I can associate it later, maybe through code or something like that. Okay, so we got that. Next, I need to create a visual element class for button containers. So I'm going to contain all of my buttons within a container here, and within a class of visual element. So I'm going to create here a visual element. And this is going to be my buttons container. All right, and we can close this off with a visual element. All right, so all my visual element stuff is going to go in here. So I now can instantiate this by using an instance call. So here I'm going to say instance template equals button template. All right, and that's exactly, this name matches what I have here. So it's going to read this whole button file crap, but it matches the attribute here. So button template. Once I do button templates, then we can do a close on that, and I can add an attribute. Okay, cool. So button template, and this is going to be like, for example, name equals. This is going to be for cube, and then we have multiple buttons. So we have another button. So this is going to be cube. This is going to be sphere. This is my capsule. And this is going to be my cylinder. And then we got one more for plane. I already do not necessarily like this. But let's see. All right, there we go. We got our plane, and then here's all of our visual elements. Good deal. So UXML and USS, most cons is missing autocomplete. Yeah, it sucks. Right click, create UI elements editor window. Oh, cool. Is that how I do that? Daniel asked me, do I think getting the certification user programmer or programmer professional is enough to get a job as a Unity developer? Not enough to get a job as a Unity developer. No. The certificate, your degree, means absolutely nothing to anyone. It's more of a confidence booster for yourself, right? If you're going to get one of these certifications, whether it's from us or from Unity, it's a confidence in yourself that you're ready to be a developer. But an employer doesn't care. They care about your portfolio, what you can do as a problem solver, and are you a people person? They have to like you. That's the most important thing. All right, let's see here. So I do that, connecting everything through a C# script. So here, I've created my buttons based off a template. So here's my button template. Here's my main structure, and I'm saying, hey, give me 5 buttons based off this template here, which means I could have 50 templates in Filebase, which is annoying. And then what am I doing? Connecting everything through a C# script. Now that your UXML files are done, you can start working on your C# script. First, load and clone the visual tree and add it to the root. Then set up your buttons, and finally add a callback to all the buttons. Okay. Let me see here. It definitely varies, but today over 50% of computer science related field jobs don't have degrees. And you're not going to get necessarily paid more for having a science degree unless it's a role that expects a science degree. For example, in augmented reality, I don't care where you went to school or what degree you have. Unless I want a computer vision scientist, your degree is worthless. When I'm doing computer vision, I expect a PhD in computer science. But that's a specialty, right? Outside of that, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back to our onEnable methods here in this quick tool. OnEnable, and reference to the root of the window. So we're going to do root equals root visual element. And then here we're going to load and clone our visual tree, our XML structures, into the root. So here I'm going to say quick tool visual tree equals resources dot load. I'm going to load a visual tree asset, and I guess it's going to look through and find the quick tool main file. I don't know how it's going to do that, but I guess it's going to do that. Okay, quick tool main. Let's see. Yeah, also keep in mind, right, when you take that certification, it's a 70-question multiple choice test. That doesn't tell me you're a developer. It tells me you got lucky on a multiple choice test. 70 questions, multiple choice does not tell me you're a developer. Quick tool visual tree, quick tool main. Okay, we got that. And then that grabs that file, and then here I can say, hey, the quick tool visual tree, and we're going to clone this tree into the root element. And it wants me to pass in the target visual element. I'm going to say, hey, you're going to get cloned into the root. And then here we have to query all the buttons. So we're going to say var tool buttons equals the root object, which is the root visual element, equals root dot query, and I guess it automatically is going to find the button tags, or the button attribute. Not the attribute, but the button, I don't know what they're called, tags, I guess. So button, or button types. So query button, alright, so here we have our tool buttons. It's going to find all 5 of those buttons, and then we can access those buttons, I guess, by saying tool buttons dot for each button. I'm going to call a setup button method, I assume. I don't know, this tutorial sucks. It's so spoon-fed. It doesn't actually teach you anything. Now let's write the setup button method. So I need a method here. So it's going to basically assign, I guess, for each button this method somehow. We'll create a void setup button. We're going to pass in a button and a button. Reference to the visual element inside the button that serves as the button's icon. Wow, what? Where did that come from? Button icon equals the button.q for query, I guess. And then here I'm going to look for class name. Gotta be kidding me, this is horrible. Quick tool button icon. Where is it looking for that icon? In the resources folder? Like automatically? Like what the hell? Icons path in your project equals the icons plus the button.parent.name plus dash icon, I guess. I'll have to download the assets and see what it looks like. Var icon asset equals resources.load texture 2D icon path. I don't like this. I don't like this. So the icon asset is at the icons plus the button. That's the path, and then I'm getting the resource. All right, and then let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Dominic says, got a quick question. I'm in a study project and a collab with our city. Bohemia. I'd like to use Filebase paintings in there. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can use Filebase. If you have a license to Filebase, you can use it. I think UI Toolkit still doesn't have standard tutorial yet. Like, I thought, isn't this UI Toolkit? Or what am I using? What, like, I don't know the difference between UI Toolkit and UI Elements. I think it's all the same stuff. I think we're teaching us reality of programming. It's about try things again and again until that shit works. Yeah, exactly. That's what programming is. It's all about solving problems. That's all you do. 99% of the job is debugging and solving problems. I discovered huge times of it. They're still missing stuff about making things. There are Unity talks on that. UI Elements is renamed to UI Toolkit. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, let's see here. Icon asset. Applies the above asset as a background image. So here's my button icon, which is a button. And I'm going to set the style of that button and the background image equal to the icon asset. Then I'm going to say my button.clickable state. And where did this button just come from? Did I just like, do I just have internal access to button? I guess so. Jesus. Dot clickable dot clicked plus equals, and they got a lambda expression, create object, button dot parent dot name. Oh wow. Okay, let's see here. And now I need my create object method. Garbage. Here you pass in the primitive type, they parse it to a string and they instantiate it. Okay, save everything about you. If you open up Windows, it should display the buttons, but they should all be crushed. They have no text as you use icons. Good. Let's try this. I don't like this. Krita, this sucks. Dude, this is their own shitty spoon-fed tutorial, and it doesn't even work. Come on, what's wrong here? The name enum does not exist in the current context. Alright, let's see here. Quick tool, open. Wow, negative. Why does it not work? I did it right. Right? Root visual, my tree. Oh, I didn't save this. Nope. Dude, why does this not work? Why no work? Pretty sure everything is saved. Editor, resources, button template. Did I ever work in the game dev company? Talk about your experience, please. Yeah, I worked for Adult Swim and Cartoon Network 6 years ago. And then I also built casino industry games for the casino industries for like real slot machines for the brick and mortar casinos for 2 years. And then I've worked on dozens of indie projects throughout the years. But mostly my expertise is in the enterprise side. Like I use game development as a gateway to software engineering. So that's everything Game Dev HQ is about, is teaching you guys how to become excellent programmers so you can make your dream game, but get a job as a career as a software engineer. Looking at this, I don't know what the hell I'm missing, guys. I really don't. Tag was not closed. Don't give me that shit. Is that why? / close. Okay, maybe. These errors don't go into Unity? Come on. Garbage. There we go. Wow, that was annoying. What if I never checked back? What if I ignored that? Okay, cool. This works now because I'm not using icons yet, but check it out. It's spawning in based on what it is, right? So here we go. We got our UI elements. Now we're going to swap it in for some icons. But first we got to do style sheets. So hold on. Styling elements using a Unity style sheet. So before we do that, hold on. Let's break this down. This is my Filebase, and this is my top menu, essentially. Or I'm creating 5 buttons, which are a template here. This is a button template that defines what a button is in my tool. And then here I'm instantiating 5 buttons. And here I am cloning this essentially to C#. Underneath, I'm like, hey, these elements exist. I'm reading that file. And then from there, I'm querying all the buttons. And I'm going to say for each button, you're going to run this method. And this method is going to... Oh, that's how I got button here. That's right. And then here, each button is going to register the create object, and it's going to get assigned its object name. And it's going to read that from here. So it knows the name, which is cube, sphere, capsule, things. So this makes sense, but my gosh, this must be equally as much work, if not more, than coding the UI to where I can comfortably understand it. Because what I see with this is I'm not gonna know how to organize something, and that's gonna be my downfall for recreating Filebase here. Is I'm not gonna know how to expand a template or do something I want to do, because I have to abide by this territory here, which I'm so unfamiliar with. So I could see that being a problem. I already can tell you I'm gonna hate the styling part, where I have to load in a style sheet. I already know I'm gonna hate this. Outside of the real-time no compile require, I guess, is nice, but outside of that, oh, this sounds horrible. I don't want to do this. Okay, let's see here. We got the template and we got the main. All I'm missing is the style sheet. And then it looks like we're almost done. Just the UI images here. It's also, I don't have these icons, you know. I didn't download them. But let's see here. How do I make a style sheet? What's it want me to do? So here, root style sheets add. I add a resource called style sheet, quick tool, style, and then it's literally just CSS. And you have all your things like align, justify, opacities. I don't want to do that. I'm getting tired. I'm like, I don't like this. But I'm proud of myself. We did this, guys. We gave it a shot. Maybe we'll continue it. Maybe tomorrow we'll add the CSS, and then we'll see how we can build the Filebase top panel using this. I definitely think, yeah, from a patient's perspective, this I see the value in this. Like I believe, like if I ever joined a company, and I was contracted to do this, it wouldn't be acceptable to do it in C# the way I did it before. This would be the way you have to do it. So there will be a ton of value in those who can perfect working in this first, because the most sought after developers are tools developers, and that's stuff I used to build all the time for companies, is tools. When you're a tools developer, you're typically paid higher, and then you're also more valuable. You're typically the last person to let go if they do any layoffs or anything like that. You want to be the person people go to for making their building process easier. So if you can master this new UI Toolkit system, you will be insanely employable. Yeah, it's cumbersome, but it has potential. Exactly. UI Toolkit is more faster than MGUI. Oh yeah, I believe it. I bet it's more optimized in every way. I just don't know how to use it yet. But I think it would be a good project to just YouTube Live. I hate doing this stuff on my own, just like to my own thoughts, because it's so boring. Like I personally am not enjoying any of this. It's just we just need to prepare because Filebase needs to be updated, and we need to use this new system. But doing it live with you guys makes it a little bit more interesting. So also maybe you'll learn a thing or two. Why not use editor GUI layout class? Because mGUI is awful. mGUI is a nightmare to work with. Our current Filebase system uses mGUI, and we have like 6,000 or 5,000 lines of code to draw the UI. So I don't know. I do want to learn this. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of do. Creda, is there a IntelliSense for UXML? Is there a code editor I should be using for UXML? How do I get autocomplete for this guy? Is there anything like that that exists? Because that's gonna suck. Not knowing, not having an autocomplete to close, having to make sure I spell shit correctly, that kind of sucks. Simple answer is no. Sad face. Yeah. Alright, I think we'll continue this tomorrow. Let me see here. What's my schedule tomorrow? Let's take a look. Hold on. Okay, pretty open tomorrow. Let's see, yeah, I think we'll, I don't know. I think we'll play around with the CSS styling tomorrow, and then we'll try and build a Filebase with this. We'll see how it goes. But let's see. We will only use classes for this exam. First, let's create the style rule. Yeah, I'm just looking at this. It's just exactly CSS. Let's see, I tried it with Visual Studio Code. USS I can cover with Visual Studio Code text language target, but UXML doesn't. But can able to highlight. Huh, yeah. But you can determine C# namespace from unityengine.uielements and unityeditor.uielements. Yeah. Cool. All right, well, I think we'll continue cracking at this. I think this will be a fun project to take a look at in our free time. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't yet, make sure you go check out gamedevhq.com. Check out Filebase. Over 5,000 game assets and coding challenges in there. So if you want to join GameDevHQ, you can sign up to Filebase for like $49. Just use the YouTube code. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you probably tomorrow.